I belong to several F-150 forms, specifically the 10th generation F-150 forms. Those are vehicles from 1997 to 2004. And from time to time, I'll see on those forums that owners will post videos or pictures of their truck burnt to the ground. And they're confused as to why this happened. And what's really shocking to me is that a lot of people still don't know that there was a massive recall that Ford performed starting in May of 1999 that affected almost 15 million Ford vehicles. So I want to talk about this in this video. It's extremely important that you pay attention and that you access the resource links that I put in the description of this video, which will give you the opportunity to input your VIN to see if your vehicle has had this recall performed. Now, the specific problem is with the cruise control systems. The switch that's on the brake master cylinder fails. Failure of that system allows brake fluid to contact an electrical circuit. Brake fluid is extremely flammable and it causes a massive fire. Now, the problem with this is that because of the design of the system, the fire could start even days after you've turned off your vehicle and parked it. In some cases, people have parked their vehicle in the garage and walked away from it. The truck or the car burns to the ground, burns the house to the ground, and I've understood that there are injuries and deaths that have occurred as a result of this failure. So I'm going to give you some information on how this cruise control system works later in the video, but what I wanted to do first was give you a list of the vehicles that are impacted. Ford Bronco, Ford Club Wagon, the Ford Crown Victoria, the Ford Econoline Van Series E150, 250, 350, and 550, the Excursion, the Expedition, the Explorer and Explorer Sport Track, the F-150, 250, 350, 450, and 550, the Ford Ranger, Taurus, and Windstar. Moving on to the Mercury products, Mercury Grand Marquis, Mercury Mountaineer, Mercury Capri, and then finally with the Lincoln products, the Blackwood, the Mark 8, the Navigator, and the Town Car. Again, the only way to confirm whether or not your vehicle is impacted by this recall is to go to the resources that I put in the description of this video. You can put your VIN in there and see if your specific vehicle has had the recall performed. Now, what I want to do is take you to the cruise control system on my 10th Gen F-150 and show you what the specific technical element is of this and why it fails and how it is fixed. Before getting into the details of my 10th Gen F-150, it's a 2002 model. During my research, I found out that there are still millions of Ford vehicles without the cruise control recall completed, which means that there are millions of vehicles with a very hazardous condition. The switch that I'm referring to is located on the brake master cylinder, right on the end here. There's the switch, and if we can get that cleared up. And this jumper is the Ford recall repair. So this jumper goes between the brake master cylinder, that switch, and the wiring harness, and it is a fusible link that will break continuity when there is a spike in current. So if the switch shorts out, and I'll get into those details in a minute, then the fusible link goes and that protects you from a fire. If you're not sure if you've had the cruise control recall performed on your vehicle, then what you want to do is disconnect the switch from the wiring harness. All you do is squeeze the tab and pull it up and leave it disconnected and go to a Ford authorized service center to find out if you need that recall performed. I would not drive around with this connected if you're not sure. The safety of you, your friends, your house, your family is very important. Now let's look at the wiring diagram so I can describe how this electrical circuit works. This recall affects 1992 through 2004 Ford Motor Company vehicles. This is the wiring diagram for my 2002 F-150, but the design is consistent with all other models of Ford Motor Company vehicles represented by this recall. The switch in question is located here. This other switch is redundant in the event the switch in question fails when trying to deactivate the cruise control. When the driver depresses the brake pedal while using cruise control, the system is deactivated by closing the contacts within the switch. Inside the switch is a membrane that separates the electronics from the brake fluid. The membrane allows the brake fluid under pressure to close the contacts for cruise control deactivation. Fire is caused when the membrane fails and allows brake fluid to contact the electrical circuit. Since brake fluid is very flammable, it ignites and potentially causes catastrophic damage to vehicle, home, and person. The design is questionable because the system is always hot, even when the vehicle is off and the key is removed. This is why the vehicle can catch fire days after being parked. In closing, I want to once again urge you to check your recall status if you own a 1992 through 2004 Ford Motor Company vehicle. Necessary links are in the description, and for one more view, here's the full-length video of a Ford truck fire.